Hey guys, it's Rick from Rick's Review. Haven't seen you in a while. Yes, I'm here in my studio. Still haven't finished my walls, but I am working on things. I have an American flag, but I'm working on things right now. I've ordered some sound dispersing tiles, pads, foam pads actually, and I'm gonna incorporate them in the walls and the ceiling. I think the ceiling is where I'm getting most of my sound from. And hopefully my recordings won't have as much echo or reverb next time you hear me. Well, I want to talk to you guys today real quick, just briefly, about the desk that I made. And let me go ahead and show you a picture. It's butcher block, and it's 25 inch by 96 inch. And it's completely unstained and unfinished. And it's pretty much dry. It's mostly dry. I don't have a meter to check how dry it is, but it's pretty much dry. So what I did was I brought it home, I stuck it on a few sawhorses, and I went ahead and stained it with some stain that I had, which is going to be a walnut stain, or I'm sorry, a acorn. And I brought it home, put it on a couple of sawhorses, and I stained it with an acorn brown, which is actually more like doo-doo brown, but I did stain it, and it came out pretty good. It looked pretty good. It has a rough feel to the touch, but it's because I didn't go through the trouble of sanding it before I stained it, and that's okay. So I went ahead and stained it, and it looked really good, but it's not exactly everything that I wanted. What I wanted was I wanted it to be epoxied and be pretty much waterproof. I put some epoxy on it, and it's pretty much waterproof, at least on the top. So I went and ordered some epoxy, and if you're not familiar with epoxy, what epoxy is, for the most part, is two-part plastic. It's liquid plastic, right? Pretty much. And you put the epoxy on, you mix the two equal parts, you mix them together really, really well, and you put them on. It spreads about like Elmer's glue would spread. It's about that thick. It spreads about like Elmer's glue would, and you just spread it. Well, the only problem that I really had was I didn't have a large enough squeegee or something to use. I should have used a 2x4. I should have bought a squeegee that's at least 25 inches wide or 25 inches long to cover the entire thing. That way it'd just be one stroke across it, and it's nice and even. Well, I had something that was about 4 inches long, tongue depressor, and I used tongue depressor to stroke the epoxy on there. Well, it didn't come out as even as I would like. It looks really good. The epoxy really brought out the grain in the wood, and you can see where the butcher block, the pieces of wood stick on top of each other, and they layer end to end. It looks really nice, but the problem is it has streaks in it, and the epoxy is hard. So if you can imagine, it looks like water dripping off of a window during a rainy day. That's kind of what it looks like, and you can kind of see the streaks in the wood or in the epoxy. It's smooth in some places, and it's kind of rough in the other places where it's just plain wood. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to sand it down with probably 2000 grit sandpaper or 1800 grit sandpaper. I'm going to give it a light sanding, sand it down real good, and then clean it up, and then I'm going to put some more epoxy on it. Except this time I'm going to put a little bit thicker layer of epoxy, plus I'm going to actually buy a larger squeegee, 26 or 28 inches long, more than wider than the actual top itself. That way I can get one streak going across, and I don't have different lines sitting side by side, crisscrossing going across it. And then it will make it look a whole lot more than I want it to look. It'll make it look a whole lot nicer. Well, anyway, I wanted to just kind of come by and say, hey, Merry Christmas. I know today is the 25th, and it's Jesus' birthday, and that's what we're here to celebrate. And remember, have a Happy New Year, but a safe one. So if you're going to drink, let somebody else drive. And if you're going to be on the road, get off the road as soon as you can, because there's going to be a lot of people out there who aren't being safe, who are going to be drunk, and who are going to wreck into you if you don't watch out for them. So make sure to be safe, and remember, if you can do it yourself and save a few bucks, do it yourself.